Very good evening, dear students. The next unit, Module 5 of Microbes and Environment paper, and this unit is one of the most important unit based on the knowledge whatever we had in the previous unit. We have to apply the knowledge of environmental microbiology and environmental biology for solving various aspects of the global environmental issues. So, in module number 5, the first topic mentioned in your syllabus, global environmental issues. Global environmental issues, they have mentioned some of the potential environmental threat currently we are undergoing, that is ozone layer depletion, greenhouse effect, and acid rain. So these three are the potential environmental issues that hamper the existence of the whole earth. Okay, and this we will discuss one by one. First we will discuss ozone layer depletion. So as you all know, the earth every day it is undergoing drastic threat by the human activities. Okay, and the global ecosystem is totally deteriorating. One side is normal pollution. Okay, the waste product is exhausting to the ecosystem, and that is contaminating the ecosystem. And you can see the other side, lot of pollution, especially plastic contamination, that is adversely affected the marine ecosystem. And people have the next one is deforestation, or completely the removal of all vegetation from the ecosystem, and the planet become dried and it become desert, and total ecological balance how lost. The other side, that the greenery of the ecosystem is diminishing, and a global warming, a hot condition that is that is happening, and that removes lot of organisms from this particular environment. So the earth, or the fresh earth, and okay, the greenery of the old earth, now it is completely under the threat due to the human activity. So in this particular aspects, the global environmental issues, we are going to discuss ozone layer depletion, greenhouse effect, and acid rain in detail. That is what they have mentioned in unit number 5. The first one is ozone layer depletion. This you might have studied in your lower classes, especially physics students. You might have learned about a lot of about ozone layer depletion. So what is ozone layer? Before you talk about ozone layer depletion, you should know what is ozone. Okay, so you know that ozone is a region in the earth stratosphere that contains high concentration of ozone and protect the earth from the harmful ultraviolet radiations from the sun. So this is what is the earth, the beautiful earth. And the region, you can see the stratosphere, okay, the lowermost region, and one particular region, that is the concentration of the ozone, that is O3, that will be high, and that particular region serve as an insulating covering to the atmosphere of this earth. And the most important property of this particular layer, that can prevent the harmful ultraviolet radiation that is directly penetrating from the sun to the earth. Okay, so this ozone layer is the coverage, that is a boundary, or that is a barrier that protect the earth from the harmful ultraviolet rays that is emerging from the sun. Unfortunately, this layer has been depleted, okay, by various activities. The lot of anthropogenic activities that is happening in the ecosystem, the earth, the the ozone layer is getting depleted, removed, and that the ozone layer, lots of specific holes, okay, are happening. Through that particular holes, the UV rays are directly entering and creating lot of harmful effect in the earth, okay. So that is the problem here. So that is known as ozone layer, okay. And this ozone layer is found in the lower portion of the earth atmosphere. This is the lower portion of the earth atmosphere. It absorbs 97 to 99 percentage of harmful ultraviolet radiations, okay. This absorb the harmful ultraviolet rays, and that will not allow the ultraviolet rays to penetrate into the earth actually, okay. And the radiation coming from the sun, that can damage the total life in the ecosystem, okay. So if the ozone layer was absent, millions of people would have developed skin disorders, and we may have a very poor immune system or weakened immune system, that will be leads to lot of infection, okay. So that is the important thing. So this ozone layer prevent the rays entering to the earth and trapping the ultraviolet rays, and they remove and absorb the rays, okay. And the scientists have discovered that earlier there was a hole in the ozone layer over Antarctic region, okay. So this was the first study. Then this has focused their concern on various environmental impact and step to control this depletion of this layer, okay. And that is very very important. Due to this, the anthropogenic activities, the chemical that is released to the harmful chemical that is released to the ecosystem, lot of holes in these ozone layers are getting created across the universe, and through that particular hole, the ultraviolet rays are entering to the ecosystem as in the earth, and that will be adversely affecting the existence of the organism in the ecosystem, okay. And the main reason for ozone hole that is noted was chlorofluorocarbon, the chemicals such as CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, carbon tetrachloride, okay, carbon tetrachloride, okay, CTC, carbon tetrachloride, methyl bromide or MP, or hydrochlorofluorocarbon, okay, hydrofluorochlorocarbon, okay. So these are the major reason why ozone layer is getting holes, okay. So this, what do you mean by this depletion, ozone layer depletion, okay. So ozone layer depletion, as I said, it is a gradual thinning of earth ozone layer in the upper atmosphere caused due to the release of chemical compound containing gaseous bromide or chloride from the industries or other human activities, okay. This process is known as ozone layer depletion, okay. So this is what is your earth, and these are there are a lot of industries and lot of the agricultural practices, okay, lot of industrial practices that releases lot of carbon tetrachloride or carbon fluorocarbon, all such kind of things. So this is going and penetrating to the ozone layer. You know that this is getting creating holes to the ozone layer near the troposphere, okay, or stratosphere, okay. So that then what will happen, this particular holes, the holes will be creating here, and through that particular holes, the sunlight or solar radiation directly penetrating to the earth. And the solar radiation has what, lot of ultraviolet radiation. This ultraviolet radiation will be prevented by the ozone. The molecular formula of ozone is O3, okay. O2 is oxygen, O3 is ozone, okay. And this ozone is getting depleted through that particular hole. The rays is emerging, and that is penetrating to the earth, and that is affecting all the existence in the universe, okay. And this ozone layer depletion happens when the chlorine and bromine atom in the atmosphere come in contact with the ozone and destroy the ozone molecule. So due to this particular process, so all this chemical that is arises from the factories has lot of bromine and chlorine. So this bromine and chlorine, when they goes and they interact with this O3 and they destroy the O3, okay, and there the hole will be created. So one chlorine can destroy 1 lakh molecule of ozone. One simple chlorine is more powerful. You know that it is a halogen. Okay, so this chlorine can destroy approximately 1 lakh molecule of ozones. So some compounds release chlorine and bromine on exposure to the high ultraviolet light, which then contributed to the ozone layer depletion. Okay, some compound releases the chlorine and bromine on exposure to the high ultraviolet rays, which causes the ozone layer depletion. Such a type of substance are known as ozone depleting substance or ODS. Okay, so this ODS mainly contain chlorine, which include chlorofluorocarbon. You know that is a chlorine is the major thing. Carbon tetrachloride, again number of chlorines are there. Hydrochlorofluorocarbon, okay, lot of chlorine are present, and methyl chloroform, again chlorine are present. So these are the primary source of ODS in the ecosystem. Okay, and this ODS that contain bromine also. Okay, the bromine are halogens, methyl bromide and hydrobromo fluorocarbon. Here bromo is there, and halogens has bromine, methyl bromide has bromine, and halobromo fluorocarbon has bromine, and this bromine also interact with the ozones and then depleting the ozone. Okay, so the chlorofluorocarbons are the most abundant and the primary source of ozone depleting substances. Okay, so it is only react with the chlorine atom, react with some other molecule. It does not react with the ozone. It is only react when the chlorine atom react with some other molecule. It does not simply react with the ozone. Okay, and there is a protocol that is proposed by United Nations. Okay, in 1987, that is known as the Montreal Protocol. That is that symposium has happened in Montreal, and they have developed a Montreal Protocol by identifying the problem arises due to the ozone layer depletion. This protocol was developed in 1987, so that tells the protocol is to stop the use, production and import of ODS, okay, ozone depleting substances, and minimize their concentration in the atmosphere to protect the ozone layer of the earth. Okay, so this Montreal Protocol was primarily aimed to restrict the use, production and import of ozone depleting substance and prevent the earth from this the dangerous ultraviolet rays. Okay, so that is what is the Montreal Protocols. Okay, so now what are the major causes of ozone layer depletion? The major causes of ozone layer depletion are number of factors. Number one, CFC, okay, chlorofluorocarbon. So these are the main cause of ozone layer depletion. How it is produced? These are released by the solvents, the chemical industry. Lot of solvents we are using, spray aerosols we have discussed. When you are spraying aerosols, then refrigerators and air conditioners, etc. So all these components has pulled a lot of carbon, chlorofluorocarbon to the ecosystem, and that create the hole to the ozone layer. The molecule of CFC in the stratosphere are broken down by ultraviolet radiation and release chlorine atom. Okay, when this chlorofluorocarbon emerges from the stratosphere, the ultraviolet rays coming from the sun, that is break down the ultraviolet radiation and release the chlorine atom. Okay, these chlorine atom react with ozone and destroy the ozone. So that is the action of CFC. Next one is unregulated rocket launches. Now you know that NASA, they have a lot of experimentation on in the space. Okay, so in the this unregulated launching of rockets, okay, and other such kind of machineries result in much more depletion of ozone layer than CFC can do. Okay, this unregulated rockets launches rocket launching has contributed a lot of such kind of component to the ecosystem, and what will happen, that adversely affect the the ozone layer. So if we don't control this unregulated rocket launcher, by the end of 2050 we can expect a huge loss of ozone layer, and there is a total destruction in the earth. So we need to be very much careful, and we need to be control this. Okay, the next cause is the nitrogenous component. The nitrogenous components such as nitric oxide and nitrous oxide, they are highly responsible for the depletion of ozone layer. Okay, so that one also contribute a lot of ozone layer depletion. There are natural causes also. The ozone layer found to be depleted by certain natural processes such as sunspot and stratospheric winds. The unexpected sunspots and stratospheric wind contributor, they are the natural processes that also contribute ozone layer depletion, but it does not contribute 1 to 2% of ozone layer depletion. It contribute, but contribute in a very less extent than the other process. Then another important aspect is volcanic eruption. Okay, volcanic eruptions are also responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer. During volcanic eruption, lot of dangerous components are emerging that releases and going to the earth, and that disrupt the ozone layer. So these are the major causes of ozone layer depletion. So what are ODS? So what are ozone depleting substances? The substance that cause the ozone layer depletions are known as ODS or ozone depleting substances. So these ODS are the substances such as chlorofluorocarbon, halogens, okay, carbon tetrachloride, hydrofluorocarbon, etc., that are responsible or cause the depletion of ozone. Okay. So these are the some of the example. Chlorofluorocarbon, how it is emerging. It is emerged from refrigerator, air conditioner, solvent, dry cleaning agents, etc. Electronic items are contributing a lot of such kind of component. Okay, the halogen, that primary consisting of bromide. So fire extinguishers. Okay, you know fire extinguishers that contribute lot of halogens. Carbon tetrachloride, again fire extinguishers and various solvent that is coming out of the industries. Okay. Next one is methyl chloroform. That is the main source is adhesive or aerosols. Okay, so these are the main sources for the production of methyl chloroform. Next one is hydrofluorocarbon. That is when the industries are cleaning by using solvent. Okay, solvent cleaning, fire extinguishers, and solvent other solvent cleaning process that contribute a lot of ozone depleting substances. So what are the effect of this ozone layer depletion on the earth? Okay, there are so much of a harmful impact on the environment due to this ozone layer depletion. Okay, the first one is effects on human health. Okay, the human directly, when we are directly exposed to the harmful ultraviolet rays, what will happen? It create lot of problems such as skin diseases, cancer, sunburn, cataract, okay, quick aging, and a very poor or weakened immune system. Okay, so if this process will not, if you don't prevent this harmful chemical, it create a hole to the ozone layer, and the ultraviolet rays are directly emerged, and which contribute lot of problems to human health. Then the next one is effects on animal. The direct exposure to the ultraviolet radiation leads to the skin and eye cancer in very several animals. Okay, the skin and eye cancer. This ultraviolet radiations are carcinogenic substances. Okay, so that create cancer. Okay, so the effects on the environment. So the strong ultraviolet rays may lead to minimal growth, flowering, and photosynthesis of plants. Okay, you know that we have already discussed the food chain and food web. Plants are the primary producers. Okay, so this particular plant, when it is getting this ultraviolet radiation, it will undergo minimal growth, flowering, and photosynthetic will be totally deteriorated, and it will create a low productivity of plant that clearly affecting the productivity of the plants. Okay, the forest also bear harmful effect due to the ultraviolet rays. Okay, the forest ecosystem cannot survive ideally if the ultraviolet rays are very high. Okay, then the effects on marine life. Okay, you know that the plankton, okay, algae plant, the primary producers, okay, phytoplanktons are greatly affected by the exposure to the harmful ultraviolet rays. Okay, so these are higher in aquatic food chain. Okay, the planktons are the primary producers in the aquatic food chain. If the aquatic ecosystem undergone direct penetration of this ultraviolet rays, then it create lot of problem. If the planktons are destroyed, the organisms present in the lower food chains are also destroyed. Okay, if the planktons are destroyed, the organisms present in the lower food chains are also destroyed. Okay, so that is the next important thing. Then the next one is the depletion of the ozone layer. What are the solution to the ozone layer depletion? Okay, so the major solution is the depletion of ozone layer is a very very serious issue, and various program need to be launched by the government agencies, government authorities of various countries to prevent it, like Montreal protocols. Okay, so the first one is avoid pesticide. I told you pesticide consisting of lot of chlorine, bromine, such kind of halogen. Okay, and this particular pesticide need to be avoided because this pesticide contribute lot of such kind of component. So this natural method should be implemented to get rid of this pest and weeds instead of using chemicals. Okay, chemicals such as halogen, bromine, chlorine, okay, fluorine, okay, or iodine, etc. Okay, so the use eco-friendly chemicals to remove the pest or remove the weeds manually. Okay, you have to use eco-friendly chemicals. Okay, or you have to use the natural fertilizers. Okay, the items like cow dung. Okay, such kind of things you have to use. Next one, although this is very difficult to nowadays, minimize the use of vehicle. I think everybody in a family, earlier we don't have vehicle, but now you know that in a family 5 members are there, all the 5% will be having the vehicle, at least one. Okay, the vehicle emit a large amount of greenhouse gases that leads to global warming as well as ozone layer depletion. So how much ever it is possible, please avoid use the vehicle usage should be minimized how much ever possible, and you have to protect our earth actually. Okay, so that is the next important aspects. Okay, then use eco-friendly cleaning products. Okay, so the most of the cleaning products have chlorine and bromine. Okay, the you know that the chlorine and bromine are excellent sterilizing agent or sanitizers. Okay, so they are very good chemical sterilant. Okay, so the releasing chemicals that reaches into the atmosphere and affect the ozone layer. The cleaning product, most of the cleaning product has lot of chlorine and bromine that release that reaches in the atmosphere and affect the ozone. So this should be substituted with a natural product to protect the environment. That is another important solution. Next one is use of nitrous oxide should be prohibited. Okay, so the government should take necessary action to strictly ban the use of harmful nitrous oxide that adversely affect the ozone layer. Okay, and the people should be made aware of the harmful impact of nitrous oxide and the product emitting the gas, so that the use is minimized at the individual level. Individually people need to be we need to be aware of this one, okay, and there should be created awareness for the harmful effect of nitrous oxide, one of the major problem of ozone layer depletion. So these are the another important solution to for the ozone layer depletion. So that's all, dear students, ozone layer depletion. Now we are going to move the second very potential problem, greenhouse effects. Okay, greenhouse effects. So you know that what is a greenhouse? So you have seen there a beautiful picture. You can see this commonly present in your farm. Okay, there are a lot of agricultural vegetation. To protect them, a glass or in a particular shield. Okay, a house made up of glass or similar items that can be used to grow plants. Inside this chamber, we will be growing the plants. Okay, so the sun radiation warms the plant and the air inside the greenhouse. When this roof is getting the sun radiation that these roofs absorb that and warm the plant in the air inside the greenhouse, and the heat trapped inside due to various process, due to this coverage, cannot be escaped and warms the greenhouse, which is very essential for the growth of the plant. That is the mechanism here. Okay, the greenhouse will trap the heat, okay, that is trapped inside the greenhouse will not be escaped, and that warm surroundings will provide a good growth for the plant. Okay, so this is just an introduction about greenhouse, and similarly same is the case of earth atmosphere also. Okay, so there is something called as a greenhouse there also. During the day, the sun heat up the earth atmosphere. You know that in a very bright sunny day, the sun will be having, okay, sun will the heat will be emerged, and the sun heat up the earth atmosphere. That is happening in the daytime. But what will happen in the night? When the sun when night happens, the earth cools down and the heat is radiated back to the atmosphere. So in the daytime, the radiation will be reaches to the earth. The night time, when it is cools, what will happen? The heat is radiating back to the atmosphere. Okay, so during this process, the heat absorbed by the greenhouse gases in this earth atmosphere, what will happen? When the earth cools down, the heat is radiated back. But when the heat radiated back, there are a lot of gases, that is greenhouse gases, okay, that absorb the heat, okay, and this make the surface of earth warmer, that make the survival of the organism and the living being on the earth possible. Okay, we require the 37 degree centigrade. Okay, but this is a balanced disturbance. If it is happen, then there is not a problem. Okay, but if the increased level of greenhouse gases, the temperature of the earth will be increased, then this leads to drastic problem and potential health as well as environmental hazard to the ecosystem. Normal condition, if the heat is when the earth cools down, the heat will be radiated back, the greenhouse gas absorbs, and that will be keep the heat there. Okay, so that heat will be utilized by all the organism and they grow. But the heat is increased due to this greenhouse gas. The concentration of the greenhouse gas is increased in the atmosphere. The heat also will be increased. That create lot of temperature, that is known as global warming. Okay, so this has leads to drastic effect. So this is what I have told. Okay, this is known as greenhouse effect. The sun, lot of solar radiations are emitting, and most of the solar radiations are absorbed by the earth surface and warm that. Evening time, when the earth cools, it will be back. Okay, the solar radiation is reflected back, and some of the radiations pass through the atmosphere, and some re-emitted in all the direction, and this greenhouse gases will be trapped this heat, and that will be creating the layer of this atmosphere will be warm always. So that is known as greenhouse effects. Okay, so the greenhouse effect is a process by which radiation from the sun are absorbed by the greenhouse gas and not reflected back into the ecosystem or the space. Okay, so this is a process by which the radiation from the sun are absorbed by the greenhouse gas and not reflected back to the space. Okay, this insulate the surface of the earth and prevent it from freezing. Okay, so this is what is happening. So the greenhouse effect, sun has lot of the energy, it is coming during the daytime. What will happen in the night time when the earth cools, it will be going back. But due to the presence of this greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, and this gas will be present in the atmosphere, trap this heat and keeping the earth warm. So once the concentration of this greenhouse gas such as carbon dioxide will be enhanced, it will heat up. Okay, it will heat the atmosphere and in this layer, and there is a lot of heat will be emerging in the earth. So that is known as global warming. Okay, so this is what I have told. Okay, the greenhouse gas, the gas that absorb in the radiation coming from the sun and create the greenhouse effect, such as carbon dioxide and chlorofluorocarbon. Okay, the major contributors of the greenhouse gas. Why it is happening? How the carbon, chlorofluorocarbons and carbon dioxides are accumulated in the ecosystem? Due to the major contributors, as we have said earlier, the factories, automobile industries, deforestation, etc. Increase the number of factories and automobile increases the amount of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. Okay, so what will happen? If the amount is increased, this will trap a lot of heat, and that will be keeping the heat here, and the earth will be heater. Okay, this gases never let the radiation to escape from the earth and increase the surface temperature of the earth, and this leads to global warming. But nowadays the potential problem what we are undergoing, currently we are undergoing global warming. Okay, so for example, this is the different types of greenhouse gas. The sun is transmitting the light when the evening time, when the earth cools, it's supposed to go back, but when it is go back, the greenhouse gas like carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbon, ozone, nitrous oxide, etc. will be present here. Okay, and they absorb the heat. 56% will be absorbed by carbon dioxide, 18% will be done by methane, and 13% will be chlorofluorocarbons, and 7% will be ozone, and 86% will be nitrous oxide will be contributing to the global warming. And this layer will be completely warm, and that contribute lot of heat. Due to the heat, the atmospheric heat will be increased. That will be a problem for the organism that is present in the earth. Okay, this is known as greenhouse gas. So what are the causes of this greenhouse effect? Okay, causes of greenhouse effect. Number one, burning of fossil fuels. You know that when the fossil fuels are burnt, it contribute a lot of potential problem which releases carbon dioxide. Why? Which releases carbon dioxide. With the increased population, the fossil we will be utilizing every day, and the utilization of the fossil fuel also increase. This leads to the increased release of greenhouse gas into the atmosphere that trap the heat and keep the atmosphere warm, more and more warm, and the temperature will be raised. Okay, that contribute global warming. Another potential problem, deforestation. You know that, cutting the tree, removing the tree. Okay, the plants and tree takes carbon dioxide and release oxygen. You know that when these greenhouse gases are present here, the plant can absorb the greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and release oxygen. But if the tree and such kind of plants are cut, due to the cutting of this tree, there is considerable increase in the greenhouse gas, because nobody is there to absorb the carbon dioxide and emit the oxygen, which contribute to the increase the amount of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. Next one is farming. You know that when agricultural practices are happening, nitrous oxide that is present in the fertilizer is one of the important contributor to the greenhouse effect. Whenever we apply a lot of fertilizers, chemicals, the nitrous oxide will be present, that will be released to the ecosystem, atmosphere, and contribute to the greenhouse gas and contribute to the greenhouse effect. Next one is industrial waste and landfill. The industries and factories produce harmful gases which are released the atmosphere, and these gases are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, etc., and that will be trapping in the ecosystem and absorb a lot of heat and contribute a greenhouse effect. The landfills releases carbon dioxide and methane that adds to the greenhouse effect. Okay, the landfill, especially composting, when you add it, contribute carbon dioxide by anaerobic process by methanogens. We have already discussed. Last class we have seen the function of anaerobic sludge digester. It contributes a lot of methane and carbon dioxide that leads to the greenhouse gases. Okay. Then what are the effects of greenhouse effect? Okay, what are the major impact of greenhouse effect? Number one is global warming. Okay, so if the greenhouse gases are increased, then the temperature will be also increased. The volume of greenhouse gas such as carbon dioxide and methane released by the burning of fuels and emission of vehicles and industry and other human activities contribute lot of greenhouse gases such as chlorofluorocarbon, carbon dioxide, methane, etc., that absorb a lot of heat and trap the heat in the atmosphere of the earth, and that contribute lot of temperature. That is number one, and this process is known as this phenomenon is known as global warming. Next one is depletion of ozone layer. We have discussed ozone layer depletion. Due to the depletion of ozone layer, the harmful ultraviolet rays will be directly enter into the earth. Okay, and this which will create the skin cancer and change the climate drastically. Okay. Once the ultraviolet rays are rays are produced, that will be reached to the earth surface, that by means of the holes that is created by this particular chemicals, okay, chlorine and bromide. Then what will happen? It will create a lot of problems such as skin cancer, and that changes the climate drastically. The major cause of the major cause of greenhouse effects are the accumulation of natural greenhouse gases, which includes chlorofluorocarbon, carbon dioxide, and methane. So these are the major causes of the greenhouse effects. Okay, so in this picture you can see how that is contributed the problem for the earth. Here you can see a beautiful picture. Okay, one side there is a greeneries, completely fully furnished the grass surface and the bright climates. Okay, lot of organism, birds, butterflies, etc., fully completely there. All organisms are very bright, and the ecosystem is so fresh. But due to this greenhouse, what is happening? The complete tree that is completely burnt off. The entire soil that is completely burnt off. The soil has turned something like a desert. You see the atmosphere that is full of the toxic gases and create lot of problems. Okay, that is the picture symbolized. That a very beautiful picture. You can see how it is created the problems of these particular things. Okay. Then what are the effects of greenhouse effect? Okay, number one, the smoke and air pollution. Okay, you have seen, okay, due to this greenhouse in Delhi, what is happening? One of the fundamental metropolitan city polluted in India, Delhi. Okay, the smoke is formed by the combination of smoke and fog, okay, by natural means and man-made activity. Suddenly the climate is changing. Okay, smoke is formed by the accumulation of more greenhouse gas, including nitrogen and sulfur dioxide. The major contributors in the formation of Smoke is automobile industries, industrial emissions, agricultural fires, natural forest fires, etc., that contribute a lot of chemicals and that contribute air pollution. I have told you several cities in India that undergoing a lot of toxic air pollution. Toxic components are there actually. Okay, that is another important thing. Acidification of water body. The total amount of greenhouse gases in the air has turned most of the world's water bodies acidic. Okay, so what will happen when the rain comes back? We will discuss acid rain. Okay, the rain comes back. The gaseous combines to form with the water and produce acid. Okay, and that acid will be contributed to the aquatic ecosystem. The greenhouse gases mix with the rainwater and falls as acid that leads to the acidification. The pH of the water system will be changed and that will be reduced to even 2 or 1. Okay, the rainwater carries the contaminants and falls into rivers, streams and lake, thereby causing their acidification. The rainwater that carries all this contaminant that distribute this contaminant to the several freshwater ecosystem like river, streams, lake, pond, etc. Okay. Next one is a runaway greenhouse effect. This is a process when the planet absorbs more radiation than it can radiate back. Okay, the planet that they can absorb more amount of radiation than they can radiate back. The heat lost from the earth's surface is less and the temperature of the planet keeps rising. Okay, so due to this one, the planet absorb more amount of radiations. What will happen? So this radiation will be absorbed by the planet and the heat loss from the earth's surface is less and the temperature of the planet keeps rising. That contribute to the problem to the atmosphere. So that is what the runaway greenhouse effects. Okay, so these are the major problem of greenhouse effect. The next one is acid rain. Okay, so the acid rain, the third potential problem of the ecological system, that is known as acid rain. So what is the meaning of acid rain? It is one of the potential problem. Nowadays, lot of the old, the very important natural resources are diminishing due to the acid rain. Acid rain is the precipitation of acid in the form of rain. Okay, the rain, all the chemicals that is arises from this industry, automobile exhaust, factory emissions, etc., leads to lot of toxic chemicals that is trapped in the atmosphere. When rain comes, this chemicals will be mixed with the rain and that produces acid that will be reacted, that will be emitted back. Okay, so when atmospheric pollutants like oxides of nitrogen and sulfur reacted with the rainwater and come down with the rain, resulted in acid rain. Okay, so when the atmosphere polluted like an oxides of nitrogen and sulfur which react with the rainwater and come down with the rain, resulted in acid rain. So acid rain is made up of highly acidic water droplet due to the air emission. Okay, so specifically the disproportionate level of the sulfur and nitrogen that is emitted by the vehicle and manufacturing process by the companies or industries create lot of acid rain. So this acidic deposition takes place by two methods. One is wet method, another one is dry method. Wet deposition and dry deposition. So these are the two important methods of acid deposition will take place. Wet deposition is any form of precipitation which removes acid from the atmosphere and keep them on the surface of the earth. Okay, so precipitation, wet deposition is the any type of form of precipitation which removes the acid from the atmosphere and keep now falling all this acid on the surface of earth. Dry deposition is the process of polluting particles and gases stick to the ground through the dust and smoke. Okay, the polluting particles and that has lot of the dust and smoke that contribute lot of the greenhouse gases, that is known as a dry deposition. Okay, so what are the causes of acid rain? The main cause of acid rain are sulfur and nitrogen. Okay, because when the sulfur and nitrogen are mixed with the rain that can produce a sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid. Okay, so as the emission are given out from the industries by natural process like lightning, nitrogen ion and sulfur are released by volcanic eruption. Even natural process also, something like thunder, lightning, lot of nitrogen ions are released, sulfur is released, and that is released from even volcanic eruption. The water and carbon dioxide react together to form weak carbonic acid, which essentially by itself not experimentally harmful, but it contribute to the acid rain. Okay, say for example the water and carbon dioxide. Okay, water is a liquid, carbon dioxide is a gas, then H2CO, that's carbonic acid. So this carbonic acid is a weak acid that also contribute to acid rains. Okay, so then what will happen once the acid rains rained back to the ecosystem, to the earth, the pH of the water will be changed. Okay, so generally the pH of the regular rainwater is 5.7, giving its acidic nature. The oxides of nitrogen and sulfurs are blown away by the wind along with the dust particles and settles the earth's surface and coming down in the form of precipitation. Okay, the acid rain is byproduct of human activities which emits oxides of nitrogen and sulfur in the atmosphere. There are a lot of processes like the burning of fossil fuel, unethical waste management and emission disposal technique. Here you can see the factories has lot of there are industries, they produce a lot of sulfur dioxide and nitrous oxide to the atmosphere. The smoke and everything will be directly released, that will be trapped in the ecosystem. When the monsoon comes, it react with the clouds and react with the water, and that forms in the form of acidic rain. Okay, sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid that will be reached to the pond. Okay, all those aquatic the fish or aquatic animals have a lot of problems here actually due to that particular thing. So that is known as acid rain. Okay, then another important aspect is most of the case sulfur dioxide and nitrous oxide, as you can see in this picture. Okay, so that is they react with the water, resulting in the formation of sulfuric acid and nitric acid respectively. Okay, so this is what the sulfur dioxide and oxygen in the form of water to produce a sulfuric acid. This is very strong, the king of acid, very strong acid. Similarly, nitrous oxide reacted with the oxygen that is present in the atmosphere and water, then that is again it is formed nitric acid. Both the acids are a very strong acid, okay, that contribute to the water bodies and changes the pH and contribute the acid to the water. So this rain along with all those components are coming, that is known as acid rain. Okay, then what are the effects of this acid rain? Acid rain is very harmful to the agricultural planet and animals. It washes all the nutrients which are required for the growth and survival of the plants. Okay, acid rain affects the agriculture and causes lot of respiratory issues to the human and animals. Okay, similarly the acid rain flows down and falls down and flows into the rivers and ponds, and which affect the aquatic ecosystem as it alters the chemical composition of the water by changing the pH, okay, to form which that contribute lot of harmful environment to the water pollution, and the aquatic animals cannot survive. The primary productivity of the aquatic ecosystem is lost, and the food chain and food web will be deteriorated. Okay, so the acid rain also causes the corrosion of water pipes. Okay, corrosion of water pipes which result in the leaching of heavy metals. Okay, the corrosion will be leaching of heavy metal. Public waste transport pipe, okay, that pipe will be leached out, then it will be a problem, such as iron, lead, copper, etc. that will be released to the drinking water. That drinking water will be toxic for the human consumption. Okay, then this acid rain, the potential problem is it damages the building, all the building due to acid rain, roofs, okay, monuments or statues, all the statues and monuments are made up of stones and metals that contribute, okay. So here you can see an example effect of acid rain. This is a deforestation because of acid rain. You can see the total vegetation has completely deteriorated, okay. There is total dried, everything is dried actually, the complete vegetation is completely dried, and all the organism in this ecosystem has completely washed out, okay, completely out, and they have completely destroyed in this particular system. There you can see there is a beautiful statue or monuments. So this was the original. After so many years, this is placed in a public place, and due to this pollution, acid rain, you can see how it has turned actually. This completely damaged. You cannot even make out the face and these hands and all the decorations, okay, all of the statue. This is the old version. And now after acid rain, for so many years, the statue become like this. Similarly, so many places you can see this particular things. And one real life example, okay, in India, our own Taj Mahal, okay, so this was considered as one of the 7 wonders of the world, okay, which is largely affected by the acid rain. How? Because the Taj Mahal is situated in the city of Agra, you know that, near Delhi, okay. The Agra has lot of industries, okay, which emit the toxic oxides of sulfur and nitrogen in the atmosphere, okay. Not only that, the people use low quality coal and firewood as the domestic fuel, which adding to contribute lot of oxides and polluting substances like oxides of sulfur and nitrogen, okay. And you know that Taj Mahal, this made up of marble, that is calcium carbonate, okay. So this oxides of sulfur, I told you, when acid rain comes, what will happen? Hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid will be produced, okay. So that sulfuric acid, what will happen? When it is combined with the marble that is present in the Taj Mahal, what will happen? Produces calcium sulfate, okay. So then water and carbon dioxide. Now this was the original Taj Mahal built by the great emperor Shah Jahan. You see how it was turned. So the white marble, piece, 7 wonders, one of the 7 wonders in the world. Originally it was pure white, and that is because of marble, calcium carbonate. Now after acid rain, now you see, you go to Agra and see Taj Mahal, you will be able to see like this. The Taj Mahal has completely, just there is an yellowish color has come. Due to this acid rain, what has happened? The sulfuric acid combines with the calcium carbonate that is present in this Taj Mahal, and that contributed calcium sulfate. This calcium sulfate contributed the color to the Taj Mahal like this, light yellow color, and that is the original. This is the original Taj Mahal. Now it become like this. So this is the pathetic condition of acid rain, okay. Another example, you know that, okay, the Statue of Liberty that is there in the United States of America, okay. So that is made up of the formation of calcium sulfate result in the corrosion of this beautiful monument, calcium sulfate, okay. So originally this is made up of copper, okay, full copper and brass, okay, copper and brass, and what is happening? The action of acid rain and oxidation past 30 years, now the statue has become like this. The earlier, when it is made in 1886, you can see in 1886 this was the condition, okay. So 18th century, this was the condition, the Statue of Liberty, okay, because that is made up of copper, the color of typical copper. You can see a beautiful, brownish, yellow color, okay. So that is the beautiful this one. When it withstand for so many years, nearly hundreds of years, then what happened? After 30 years, you see the color now. Now what has happened? The color has turned due to the acid rain. Sudden rain, it is exposed to the acid rain. The color, the chemical, what is that? The calcium sulfate, okay, that is the result, and it produces the color into green color actually, okay. Now you see this has become like this in 2018. This has become like this. If you see and if you go and see, this will be looking like this, okay. So this is the impact of this acid rain. So this there is a very much essentiality to prevent this acid rain. How will you prevent this acid rain? The main important prevention mechanism is only precaution that we can make is the we can check the emission of oxides of nitrogen and sulfur. You try to always periodically check the oxides of nitrogen and sulfur, okay, then reduce the usage of this particular automobile industries and all such kind of process, okay, and being a responsible citizens, okay, one should take the responsibility and convey this message and aware of the harmful effect they cause and the industries which give the nitrogen and sulfur compound waste unethically, okay, strictly ban all those process. Actually public there should be provision for the government agency to strictly ban. Now we are having lot of regulation by the pollution control board of government of India. So although we are having lot of such kind of laws, still people are doing this particular things and preventing the natural resources. That's all, dear students, acid rain. So thus we can conclude, dear students, this is most important topic in this particular unit as well as the particular paper. This is really interesting to study. So global environmental issues we have discussed about the introduction. There are three important things: ozone layer depletion, greenhouse effect, and acid rain. Ozone layer depletion, we have seen the definition of ozone layer depletion. What's an ozone layer? What are the causes of ozone layer? Ozone depleting substance or ODS. What are the impact or effect of ozone layer depletion? What are the solution of ozone layer depletion? These are the things we have discussed. Then greenhouse effect. What is the definition of greenhouse effect? What are greenhouse gases? What are the causes of greenhouse effect? Okay, and what is the effects of greenhouse effects? Okay, that is the impact of greenhouse effects. Then what do you mean by acid rain? What is the definition? What are the causes of acid rain? What are the effects of acid rain? The real life examples such as Taj Mahal and Statue of Liberty. There are many more, okay. The Greek, there's Colosseum, okay. So many more. There are prevention of acid rain. How will you prevent, okay? These are the important things, okay. So these are the major textbook, dear students. You can see any environmental biology textbook, then all those textbook you will be able to get this one. So what we have to do is to prevent the global, environmental threat. We should be aware, conserve our beautiful ecosystem, okay, and prevent and guide the people being undergraduate students, okay, make our earth cleaner and greener is always. You keep our earth and resources in your own hand and protect and promote the green technologies, okay, and promote the the awareness, okay, and that is why the World Environmental Day is celebrating on June 5th, okay. June 5th is considered as the World Environmental Day. All citizen, as a responsible citizen, we should think about the status of our earth, the mother earth, and we should take all the responsibilities and we should take all the precautions and necessary action to prevent or control all the existing problems like greenhouse effects, okay, acid rain and ozone layer depletion, such kind of things. Thank you, dear student. Thank you very much for attending this particular class. If you are having any clarification, you can ask me. Thank you very much.